Okay, this one's gonna be fun. So today we're gonna be talking about how to grow your business. You all wanna grow your business. You might be new in your business, you might be a veteran in your business, but still we wanna perpetually grow our business. It's a very common question I get. How did I grow my business? I got over 1,100 touch points, okay? 1,100, call them wholesalers, resellers, distributors, licensees of our software, representing our product, and it exponentially grows year over year because it snowballs, right? So how can you do that? Today, I'm gonna be talking about 3 key points on how I am able to close deals, what I focus on when I get into the room with the buyer. In an actual case, because we're actually pitching a concept to a very well-respected landmark in Canada, the CN Tower, to get our latest HD 360 3D crystal listed at their retail store that attracts over 2 million footsteps a year. So if you're selling 3D crystals, this will be a very interesting informational session episode for you. If you're not selling 3D crystals, well, my 3 points are quite generic and will help you sell your products and services as well. Sound interesting? Are you intrigued? Welcome to 3D Crystal Behind the Scenes. Hi, Riyaz here with 3D Crystal. So today is an exciting one. It's an actual case study that my team came up with, which is to get our product represented at a very popular location here in Canada, the CN Tower. They attract over 2 million footsteps a year, and the idea is to take our latest HD 360 technology, where we take high definition texture, laser etch it into crystal, and create some of the most beautiful, unique souvenir keepsakes, all right? And the idea is to get the CN Tower to display this 3D image of the landmark so that people and tourists can take them and buy them as souvenirs home with them. Now, what I'm gonna do is talk 3 main points so that when I walk out of that meeting, I'm almost 90% certain that they are going to represent my product. Okay, so what am I gonna do? The first thing that I'm gonna do, and what you should be doing as well when you get these meetings, is talking about the unique nature of your product. Okay, how is your product unique? How is it different than every other product that they have in their store? And if you don't know this, you're already gonna have an uphill battle. You gotta really understand what's gonna whet the beak of that buyer, what's gonna excite them. How are you going to create an emotional attachment between the buyer and your product? Because when you do that, you're a step ahead, all right? And it's a much easier battle, per se. So what we're gonna do, we're blessed in the 3D crystal world. Well, I mean, our product is just so phenomenal. It's unique, it looks cool, the science behind it is cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to them about the science behind my product. How did we create it? That gives it the cool fact, okay? How did we model this flat image to 360? How did we play with tones to make it look so beautiful? How did we focus on creating 3D clouds to give it that sense of realism, okay? And you know, even the fact of connecting it with the buyer by showing them a product that is of their logo, of their landmark, as opposed to just any other product that I have on the shelf. This is how I can excite them. This is how I'm able to really focus on the unique nature of my product, okay? And that's what you're gonna have to do as well. Now, once you've got them excited, once you've been able to convince them that your product is different than whatever else they have in their store, and a product that's gonna excite the tourist and the buyer as well, well, then you go on to step number 2. Step number 2, I like to refer to as size of the prize. Size of the prize meaning dollars. What kind of revenue, what kind of sales are you projecting, forecasting for your product in their store? And not only that, what kind of margin are you forecasting in their store? Now, margin is very important because you got to remember that that customer is going to buy something from their store, and if they don't buy another product on the shelf and they buy your product, the buyer needs to be excited about the fact that they're picking up the 3D crystal or your product, right? Because if they're not making enough margin, they're gonna hold their breath. If they're holding their breath, it means they're not excited to sell. If they're not excited to sell, you're not gonna get the reorder. And you gotta remember, what's more important than that initial listing and that initial order is the reorder, because that means that you've proven the concept. That means that now there is success on the product and you're able to build that pipeline, build the higher velocity and movement of that product, okay? So, size of the prize. Now, the beauty behind the 3D crystal product, as many of you know, is you're taking raw material with what could be perceived as lower value. You're striking it with a laser. You're changing the properties of the product by putting something inside, making it unique, and then, of course, That is what adds value, because now it's got something that has meaning laser etched inside it, because you've taken something, raw material, that had lower value, changed the properties slightly, made it high value. It leaves enough spread for great margin for all parties involved. So size of the prize, make sure you educate the buyer on what projected revenues are, what their margin's gonna be, and how much they're gonna enjoy each and every sale they make of your product. Point number 3, make it easy for the buyer. Make it simple for the buyer. Talk about how quick you're going to be able to get product to them, how they don't need to buy large minimum order quantities, that they can order by the case just to test the concept, how you're going to label everything, price it with UPC codes. I mean, just make it so easy for them. Very important, how you're going to make it easy for it to sell through. So how are you going to merchandise it? What solution are you going to have to merchandise that product in their store, so that, in our case, the 3D crystal, maybe find a spot next to electricity so you can plug in the illumination stand so that the crystals light up, because light gives the product life, right? And when the product is lit up, it shines, it attracts the eye of the buyer, and all of a sudden you have a leg up on every other product that you're competing with in that retail environment. Merchandising is key, and explaining to the buyer how you're going to keep it easy for them is essential at closing deals. Now, when it comes to our product and my pitch and what I'm going to be doing in the next few days, let's talk through each of these 3. So number 1 was the uniqueness of the product. Again, I told you, extremely unique. It's customized. We're creating that emotional attachment by putting the image of the CN Tower inside. So check mark, I got that one covered. Point number 2, size of the prize. Like you all know, at least the wholesale partners of ours know, margins are fantastic. So we're going to talk about the projected revenue based on number of traffic that they get by a certain percentage of those that are going to spend and buy, what we expect their numbers to be and what we expect their profit to be. And number 3 is merchandising. We got a great merchandising display. I've already walked the store on my own time to figure out kind of the top 3 spots that I'd like to have my product displayed at. So I'm already kind of ahead of the game, and I'm going to be looking forward to check mark over there. I'm going to be looking forward to talking to the buyer about that. I am going to be posting an update on how this meeting goes. They might list it, they might not. I'm 90% certain they will, because that's my conversion rate so far. I know how to close deals, and hopefully this video will help you too as well. Now, if you want me to post a video on how I got the meeting, or a video on how you are able to get meetings, how you're able to stuff your pipeline through marketing to kind of get new distribution, that's a whole other episode altogether. Be sure to let me know, comment below, subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching.